Hey friends, happy Focus Friday. Today I am wanting to talk to you about 4 must-have routines in order to holistically hustle. And our first category, I am cheating and I'm putting 2 routines into one. I'm calling it your morning and your evening routine. So in the morning, you want to set the tone for the day. I don't know about you, but I am not one who loves to rush around in the morning. I had to do that earlier this week. And I remember how much I don't like that. And it really does impact and snowball into the rest of my day. So whether that's nourishing your mind, body, your soul, whatever that looks like for you, be sure to build a morning routine that sets you up for success for the rest of the day. Envision what you want your day to look like and kind of work backwards. What would that morning routine look like in order to make sure that your ideal day happens? The next is your evening wind down routine. It's just as important as your morning routine. One, it helps you kind of decompress from the day, to reflect. It triggers in your mind as well as your body that it's time to slow down and prepare for a quality night's sleep, because that is so important to your health and well-being. But also it is an opportunity for you to also prep for the next day. And once again, set yourself up for success for the next day. The next routine that's super important for holistic hustling, and we talk a lot about this, is to develop some sort of self-care routine. This looks different for everyone. It also may look different for you based on the day, based on the season of life that you're in. So recognize that not only will self-care routines look different from person to person, but for you, from time to time, your self-care routine will ebb and flow and fluctuate. But it's important still to incorporate some daily self-care into your routine, because if you don't take care of yourself, how in the world do you think you're going to take care of anyone else in the world that you are responsible for? So that, like I said, looks different for different folks, but I think the important part here is to think about your mind, think about your body, and think about your heart, which is a lot of what we cover here in this holistic hustling chat. But with your mind, it may be reading, listening to a podcast. With your body, it may be moving, it may be eating, it may be doing some sort of stretching. And then for your heart, that's kind of really, to me, where that mindfulness piece comes in. It may be a gratitude list, something that just fulfills you and fills your cup. That's what really a self-care routine is all about. Sure, you can go get your nails done. You can go do some retail therapy. People call that self-care. And don't get me wrong, I do that too, but I'm more focused on the individual work, like I said, that will feed and support and re-energize your mind, your body, and your soul or your heart. And then the third routine that I think is so valuable is to establish a routine of every week, just reviewing your previous week and planning for your future week. And when I say plan, we talked last week about schedules, routines, rhythms, all that kind of stuff. I don't mean like a super structured plan, but at least to know what you have coming up, what days may require more energy for you, how you're going to fit in your priorities for that week, communicate with anyone that you live with on any important things that they need to be aware about regarding your schedule. This just helps to set you up so that you're not coming into Sunday with those Sunday scaries, because those are very, very, very real. And so this is one routine that is a weekly routine that you can implement that will help you minimize those Sunday scaries. I'm not going to say that they're going to go away, but at least you'll know what you're expecting for the week. For me, I usually do this on Sunday. That's my time. You most commonly see this done on a Saturday or Sunday, but on Sundays, I will go ahead and draft, and I emphasize draft, but I draft my 1-3-5, and I've talked a little bit about this. We'll talk a little bit more about 1-3-5 in a future, but it's how I prioritize my task list. But I will draft my 1-3-5 list for the first few days. So I usually do it for Monday through Wednesday, just so I can have a good structure in place. It's more like a skeleton. I consider it like the framework of how I ideally would like my week to go. And I do that because I know that I need to leave room for margin and for things to come up. But it still helps me at least to know a few of the things that I need to get started on when the week begins. And then the last routine that I recommend for holistic hustling is to do a monthly goal setting routine. So I like to do this on kind of the last day of the month, preferably, so that I can prep for the next month. And what I do is I review my goals, like what progress have I made towards my goals? Have any of my goals changed? Does anything need to be adjusted a little bit? I also find value in setting a one-word intention for the following month that ties into the goals that I want to accomplish. So, for example, my one word for the month of May is consistency, because like I mentioned earlier, my husband and I wanted to really start building an exercise routine. And there's other things that I want to be a little bit more consistent with as far as my business. And so consistency was just sitting on my heart as the word that I needed to focus on for the month. And this really simplifies things, and it allows for me to repeat it pretty regularly. So that's another part of my morning routine, is I say affirmations and I remind myself of my goals and of my one word for the month. So that's that. Those are those 4 routines that I recommend everyone incorporate into their lives in order to holistically hustle. And just as a recap, those are to have a morning and an evening routine, to have a daily self-care routine, to do a weekly kind of check-in with yourself, and then to do some monthly goal setting and review there too. So happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Also pop in your chat. What was your hot success for the week? Can't wait to hear them.